Yes, good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Daycare. Let's Talk Daycare. Yes, our own daycare show. Yes, for daycare providers, in-home daycare providers, daycare centers. This is our own little show that is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So today I want to talk to you about Let's Talk Daycare. I am your host, Benita Whitlock. I've been a daycare provider for over 27 years. I've been taking care of children forever. I think ever since I was 5 years old, I've been taking care of somebody's children. But I had a daycare business for over 27 years. And this evening, I want to touch with you on um, a very real situation that is happening in the world today. The COVID-19 coronavirus, and it's very serious in the daycare world. A lot of daycare centers have closed down. A lot of daycare homes have closed down because a lot of them was forced to close down, and a lot of them just closed down because they are just afraid. They are just afraid. So a lot of them closed down because they are just afraid. We are on the front line. We are on the front line, and just like doctors, just like nurses, we are on the front line. So we have to make sure that we are protecting ourselves, and we have to make sure that we are protecting our family, because again, like I always say, this is in our home. So today I want to talk to you about what happens when the coronavirus visits your daycare. And this is a serious matter, and this is a true matter. And this matter has happened to someone who is very, 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 very close to me. Very close to me. And the situation happened. Oh goodness, look at this. Look at this just flopping off. That's okay. The situation happened in her in-home daycare. A child was coming to her daycare, and the child had got sick that evening before the child had left the daycare. That evening the child got sick. But during the day, as the mother came to pick up the child, she was a little upset because she works in a nursing home, and she was also saying that, she was talking to the provider, also saying that she got upset because they had called them into the room, and that a couple of patients on the floor of the nursing room floor had tested positive with the COVID virus. So she was very upset. The parent was very upset. So she told this provider that she hated because all of a sudden she felt that she was put at risk. But quiet as it kept, not only if she was put at risk, the provider was put at risk also. So the provider said, well, I feel that you need to go get yourself checked, and the baby definitely need to get itself checked, and I'm going to get myself checked. So that night she got a phone call, and it was a parent, and she had said that the baby had ran a very high temp that night, very, very high temp that night. So they end up having to take the baby to the doctor. And they tested him for everything. The next test they wanted to test him for was the coronavirus. So the mother said they tested him for the coronavirus, and she got a phone call the next morning that the baby was positive. Now the daycare provider, the parents still did not tell the daycare provider. The daycare provider uncle ended up telling the daycare provider that the baby ended up testing positive. So the daycare provider had to end up calling the parent and saying that her uncle, she ended up seeing her uncle, and the uncle did explain to her that, pray for the baby because the baby did come down with the COVID virus that tested positive. So now the provider had the baby in her care. So now the provider is at risk. The children in the daycare is at risk. And her family is at risk of the COVID virus. So she was really, upset and was just like, wow, I didn't expose my family. I tried to do everything. I cleaned, I disinfected, I wore my gloves, I wore my mask. I did everything possible that I could do to make sure that this would not happen. I did everything possible. I scrubbed down, I cleaned down, I took temperatures, I met the parents at the door. I didn't let the parents come inside the house. I had a station where the parents sign in on the outside and then the child come in and the child have to wear a mask. I did everything possible that I could do to make sure that I protected myself and my family. And the virus walked in to her house anyway. So one good thing about this story is the provider always wore a mask. She always wore her face gear, throughout the whole day. She always wore gloves. She always wore her gloves all the time. She always disinfected. She always was sanitizing her hands, always washing hands, sanitizing hands. She did everything possible what she could do. Follow all the procedures, and she followed all the procedures well. She prayed and she prayed and she prayed before she starts her daycare classes off. Every morning she would pray that God would just, send a hedge of protection over her daycare and protect her family and protect herself and protect her kids. So she got a phone call that she was waiting for, anxiously waiting for. She had a phone call that she did not have the coronavirus. The test came back negative. So she was so happy that the test came back negative, and all her family tests came back negative because she had to, all the whole family members had to get tested. Everyone in the family had to get tested. So all their tests came out negative. So to say this, we are out on the forefront, daycare providers. We don't know who have this. So what do we have to do as a daycare provider? We have to treat everyone in our daycare as if they all have the coronavirus. We have to treat everyone in the daycare as if they all have the coronavirus. So we have to make sure we wear our mask. We have to make sure we wear our gloves. We have to make sure that we are disinfecting and we are scrubbing down. We have to make sure that the children are wearing their masks, because 2-year-olds don't know how to cover their mouth when they sneeze. They don't know. So we have to make sure that they keep their little mask on throughout the day, because we don't know who is walking through our daycare doors with the coronavirus. So she did everything she was supposed to do. She called the health department. She called her worker, her daycare worker. She contacted each parent. She sent letters out to tell them what happened in the daycare. So she did everything. She dotted all her I's and crossed all her T's. to make sure that everything was done the right way. And at the end, it was a good outcome. She did not have the coronavirus. So the doctor told her, whatever you are doing, keep doing it. Whatever you are doing, keep it up. Keep it up. Because this was a good outcome. It's not many good outcomes like this. So daycare providers, while we are out on the forefront, while we are out there, please, please make sure you do everything possible you can do to take care of yourself, because we don't know what child is carrying the coronavirus. And this person is very close to me, very close, very dear to my heart. So I was praying for her, and I was praying for her, and I was trusting, and I believed that I knew that she was going to be okay. I just knew it. And it did. It ended up happening that her test came back negative. But she did everything possible that she was supposed to do. Everything that she was supposed to do to make sure that she followed all the procedures. Everything. So I just want to let you know now, as a daycare provider, as your in-home daycare provider, as this is your home. This is not a center. This is your home. You have to protect your home. You have to make sure that every parent, when they come drop off the child, that they have a face covering. They should not be talking to you without a face covering. Each child should have a face covering in your program. This is your program. Because this outcome could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. And we know that this coronavirus is killing. So thank you so much for tuning in to our show. Thank you so much. And just a few nuggets just to think about. You have to make sure that you are taking care of your family. You are taking care of your whole community that's in your household. You have to make sure. You definitely have to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. So I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please share, subscribe, hit the notification button. Until next time, I drop the mic. Let's talk daycare. Thank you, and thank you. Please leave a comment if you like this video. Let me know. Share, and let's talk about it. This is some serious, serious times. Take care, and God bless. Let's talk daycare.